Hi, Lauda. Thank you for coming on for a chat again with me. It's been a while. So, Lauda is known as Sovereign Key, and she has experiences with the paranormal, and she's a gifted psychic, and she does a lot of trauma healing as well, or
Psychologist
holographic.
as well. I'm a
Yes,
psychologist, by trade. Though that I just combine it with all the metaphysical stuff.
with the metaphysical stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. She's
Mhm.
a very interesting person that is holistic, I guess, and has a very broad, open view about what's happening. So that's why I wanted to talk to you again, because I think that, like, personally, I'm having a lot of experiences as well. Like, we had a brief chat just before about what I'm going through, and and I
Yep.
think you said it's very common at the moment. Like, a lot of people are dealing with this stuff, and it's just going to intensify,
Yep.
and that's really scary because I think we need to have the tools to really help ourselves and help people around us. So yeah, like, personally speaking, I've had, psychotic stuff happen, and I think it comes back to trauma, like you were saying. So yeah, I don't know where we should start with this, but maybe that's a good segue to start with all the paranormal, not paranormal, the possession, I guess we would
Oh.
kind of.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I
that
guess.
is paranormal.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, there's a lot happening. I think there's also been an uptake since the fake solar eclipse that happened,
Yes.
which you know was not a normal solar eclipse, and the electromagnetic energy that was released on that actually altered the Schumann resonance. It altered the electromagnetics. It altered everything. Really huge blast. And a lot of people after that happened started having going into psychosis, going into mania. There's been a lot of accounts of anyone who was suffering depression or any mental illness. Suddenly they just got hit really hard, and maybe like just out of the blue and harder. And there's a correlation because whenever you mess with the electromagnetism, your brain is going to be hit. Whenever the Schumann starts going off the rails, you're going to be hit. Any of these frequencies that we have that are supposed to be harmonizing here, that are being screwed with left, right, and center, they are going to impact everybody in some way, shape, or form. And for those who suffer mental illness, they're going to be hit that way. For those that have like aches and pains and things like that, because we are being hit by waves that are changing our DNA, that are waking up certain parts of our strands that have been made dormant through hijacking and through, the genetic things that they've done. Um, so all these strands that we have that are dormant, we're being aided. Okay, we're being helped, and these are slowly coming back online bit by bit. But that transition and that activation is a painful one. So people are already experiencing extra fatigue and extra aches and pains. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, when you've got these synthetic events that are being done because they're opening portals and they're doing something else completely different, and you're using it as an excuse so it looks like it's a natural solar eclipse, it is impacting everybody on whatever level that they have a weakness in, whatever your Achilles heel is. So
Hmm.
if it's mental illness, then yeah, a huge uptick in people suffering suddenly with like psychotic episodes, even if they weren't hit by that for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and of course, like I said, those that have migraines, or they would get worse, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And
But
I
these
think it was.
portals, oh, sorry.
No, no, you go, you go. The
These
portal.
portals, like we're also dealing with portals opening, right? Like they were opening left, right, and center all over the place.
I
And
know.
I don't know if anybody does, like I love going into looking at all these different cameras from around the world that just record 24/7. And I love like checking out what's going on everywhere, right? And I'll just do this sometimes for a long time. And there's a lot of evidence of, portals opening up, and you see all this plasma coming out
Mhm.
from, because they can't keep track of all this stuff, right? Like they eventually, yes, they catch on eventually, and then they shut them down or they go offline, but you can catch a lot of stuff. So portals opening left, right, and center. I was saying to you that paranormal investigator groups and clearing groups that go in specifically to deal with like getting rid of entities and ghosts that refuse to leave and demons and things, they are overwhelmed. They can't keep up with the amount of people contacting them. Like there's just not enough groups. The Catholic Church, not enough people doing that can do the exorcisms. They're so inundated that they had to basically recruit a whole bunch of people to come in and train to become exorcists because they didn't have enough people. So, and this is only the beginning.
Yeah. I think that's why it's really it's helpful. Like prayer does help because I have a very powerful, like I have a
Oh,
powerful.
prayer, absolutely.
Yeah, Christians
Yeah,
really know how to dedicate themselves to prayer, I think. I
yeah.
mean, I'm not, yeah. And I think that, yes,
Prayer,
when in
absolute.
doubt,
Well,
yeah,
and not only that, but I've done exorcisms, and I have like, the little kit, my holy water and holy oil and holy salt. Everything's blessed.
yeah.
I've got absolutely it works. This is, the name of Isa. Well, I know him as Isa. Everybody here knows him as Jesus. Um, Yeshua, uh, Yahuwah, Isa, right? Yes. This is the Christ energy that
Yeah.
overcame, that has overcome. This is the Christ energy that went to hell to get the keys to death, the keys to the soul,
Hmm.
to
Yes.
life, to, to not just life, but the keys that were held that kept you in that death pattern. Like, so of course it absolutely works. I mean, shamans can do it as well. There's many people that have been trained, Native Indians, the Aboriginals. Absolutely, they know what they're doing. So there's a lot of people who have methods that are ancient that work.
Yeah, definitely. And I just feel like some of those tools or knowledge should be integrated properly in everyday life for people to practically use. Like, because there is a lot of
Mhm.
confusion about, you know, I think it's just like sometimes too much knowledge can confuse people,
Oh,
which is
absolutely.
in my case, do you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think in everybody's case, because that's why they say keep it simple, stupid, like that saying,
Yes.
right?
It,
And there's a reason for it. We
yeah.
all get overwhelmed if it's too much, but there are certain things that I think are going to be coming online more now that people
Hmm.
are dealing with more and more phenomenon because these portals are all opening and they're hatching and they're like all over the place. So how to clear your house, how to keep your house protected, how to put like a complete impenetrable shield around it. Um, just normal things. Who are you inviting in? What do they have attached? I mean, do they have stragglers? What do you do if you want to invite somebody in? You don't know. Well, like you sage them before they enter the house, right? You bless them.
Yeah.
And then you say and you command, like nothing that follows you can come in.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're staying out. So yeah, I think there's definitely going to be the need for this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because it's just it's it's crazy
Yeah.
fine tuning at the moment. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
just a lot of people have the like you said, either the psychosis or a lot of aggression. I'm seeing a lot of aggression as
Yep.
well because of the portals that you were
And
mentioning.
that's
And
mental illness, right? That level of aggression is
yes,
mental illness.
yes,
So they're
definitely.
destabilizing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
There's no
That
coping.
hmm?
Yeah. There's yeah, like sorry, you go on, you go on.
No, 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 go ahead. Go ahead.
There's no like coping like tools for people that are going through this that are, you
No.
know, wanting to seek relief or I mean yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the so-called fake science, right?
yeah.
Age of Enlightenment, age of science, age of, has really done away with all of the old knowledge, which, was very well aware of all this stuff. So
Hmm.
now you've just got people who don't know anything. It's no different than take people that were farmers out of their farmland, you put them in cities, they have children and their children have children and like all they know is living in cities. So then when, the shit hits the fan,
Yes.
they don't know how to survive because they lost all the knowledge. So now they're just city people going, well, what do you mean? I just go to the grocery store to get food. How do I get food out there in the wild? It's kind of the same.
Hmm.
It's old knowledge that has been lost. Now we have to make a return,
Yeah, absolutely.
because, this stuff's coming to a theater near you, whether you like it or not. Like, whether you believe it or not, it's coming.
Yeah, it's already
It's already here, but it's coming to everyone.
right. Sorry, I've got a bad cough at the moment.
So,
I love your terminology and the way you speak. I just want to be able to do that. Really. It's just like it's amazing, Laura. Yeah, because everything's just getting meta, you know, with all the AI and like just everyday like stuff. It's just like it's just getting more confusing. You know,
okay,
we started off.
explain what you're saying though. When you say everything's getting more meta, tell me what you
Okay.
mean.
What I mean is
Like, I know
like,
what you mean, but I think you should explain it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like I mean, for me, when I started, you know, awakening was back in 2012, I guess, and it wasn't as severe, like the knowledge, maybe it was my maturity as well, but I feel like everything is like reflecting each other more. Like it's
Hmm.
crazy. It's like like finding the origin point is really difficult these days,
Hmm.
as opposed to I guess we don't have much of a break from the internet. Before, I think that there was time to
Yeah.
integrate things. Now it's just like, boom, everything in your
Hmm.
face at once. Do you know what I mean? And I think
Well,
it's
how do you
just,
find the origin when this reality is based on a counterfeit? It's based on a facsimile. So what does a counterfeit do? A counterfeit counterfeits. It takes from the original and it keeps counterfeiting it. And so this reality is based on that. All AI is based on counterfeiting. It's
uh-huh.
mimicking the reality here.
Yeah,
So, this whole agenda, this synthetic artificial agenda that is like a superimposed artificial agenda inside the already artificial facsimile hologram,
hmm,
right? It's just a different level of the same counterfeit synthetic agenda.
yeah, got you.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
It's a much more sophisticated level because they're now bringing in the meta of it,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Because they're always going to, if you think about the primes and the reals that are starting to activate their ability and they're starting to come to and they're getting their power back bit by bit and they're learning, hey, like I really can do whatever I want. You've got elemental qigong people that are out there manipulating the wind and manipulating fire and the ocean. Like this stuff is real. So you've got the primes and the reals starting to tap into their abilities. You're starting to see that more and more. And that coincidentally, this synthetic agenda, the metal god, happens to be all meta, right?
yeah,
right at the same time. Like, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
Yep. Yep.
And ultimately, like, that agenda is to counterfeit the original meta from the primes and the reals that are accessing what's real. It's like a duplication.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
typical Yelda Boeth strategy,
Yep.
right? Demiurgic strategy. So let's really create a meta plane for the synthetic holographic counterfeit reality so that you're really locked into the superimposed synthetic reality. And then everybody's going to be converted into a biobot,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Because we're going to make sure you're poisoned. We're going to make sure you're full up with all this nano and this, you know, graphene oxide and all of these materials that are going to make you and turn you into something synthetic in your food, in your chemtrails, in the air, in the water, God knows, and in the candy cane that was given out.
Yeah. I know. I know. It's just, yeah, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right, and that's their plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there is really no finding the origin point of a counterfeit, of an infinite system based on counterfeiting, because that system is based on infinity. It's a
Yeah.
lock-in system until we all get it. And like the primes, you know, they're only prime and reals can only be locked in as long as they believe the lie themselves. Because ultimately, a prime and a real, like, they have access to everything because they are everything.
Mhm.
They are
Mhm.
the original prime source creation. So, you know, they're creators themselves. So, really, if you believe your lie, if you believe the whatever, then you will like live and experience the trap, and then you will be the fuel for it. And that's how this story has played out so far. But
Mhm.
it's an illusion too, right?
Yeah. It's not the ultimate reality. Yeah, no. Mhm.
No, not if you're prime and a real. No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Uh-huh.
But you
Uh,
know, be careful what you agree to, be careful what you sign up for. You know, they're gonna entice people because they have to find something to entice you in order to draw you into this, even on a deeper level. Like, this is why they were using people with handicaps for brain implantation, right? Of like chips and things,
uh-huh. Yeah.
right? Who did they go to at the beginning? They went to the most handicapped people that couldn't move from the neck down, couldn't speak, couldn't do anything, and they're like offering them this, like, if we hook this up to you, you might be able to walk again, you might be able to speak again. So it
Mhm.
looks really enticing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
terrible that they're doing that. They're actually picking the people that, you know, are in the worst situations. And like, if you're in that situation, you're going to want to get any kind of help you can. If somebody says, hey, I've got something that you might be able to walk again, or I've got something that you might be able to speak again,
Yeah.
how many people are going to say no, right? So
Yeah.
it's a toughie, right? But
But
that's how they're gonna get in and allure you.
yes.
We can like offer you all of this if you have that. Oh, you don't want to, you don't want to die when you're 80? Well, if you know, we hook you up to this, you probably live to 120.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh,
yeah.
you don't want to age? Well, we hook you up to this, you won't age
Yeah.
normally,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Mhm. Mhm. And
That
so yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, so the perception of you know, like when you have those things and you've agreed to them, I think it's quite different when you're conscious and you agree to it.
oh yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, when you're
It,
subconscious and you agree to it, you're just gonna have a shitload of karma
yes,
that you're just
yes.
gonna keep Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
If you're conscious of it, the karma is much more immediate,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? If
mm-hmm.
you're unconscious, it's much more like, dude, you're gonna have lifetimes like coming
Yep.
back
We're
for
going through
this.
the same thing. Yeah.
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 Which is great for the karmic lords, right? Of the machine. They love it. They're like, oh, this is fantastic. It's working great.
Oh, but
Yeah, because they're always there to convince you. Like they're always there trying to convince you, well, you didn't do this right, and you just got to come back. You got to
yeah,
come back to the machine,
yeah, the guilt factor. Uh-huh.
right?
I
So,
know.
and then everyone's like, yeah, like I'm here to evolve. No, no, there's no evolution here. Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
Yeah.
There's no evolution. Nobody has memory. Everybody just keeps reliving things over and over and over again. Tell me the proof of evolution. Like the karmic lords are a part of the machine.
Yeah.
This is the system
Well,
here, right? Like the factory.
yeah. We just have to, I guess, realize that and
And say, no, dude, I'm not going. Like, dear karmic lords, I'm not playing this game anymore. You shove that, where the sun don't shine.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Overplaying, yeah, the games. I
You
know.
don't, well, what do you need to learn exactly? You've already learned it a million times over. Trust me,
Yeah.
you learned it. So, this is why I say, where is the proof of evolution? Everybody is still like in the farm, in the factory, in the farm, in the system, not getting out. Like you've got dark lord rulers, coven rulers who own and created civilization, and you're living like you're paying them for your electricity, you're paying them for your food, you're paying them to live your life, to buy your house, to whatever. You're
Mm-hmm.
paying them. You're paying the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no evolution. Everybody's as stuck as they ever were. And then you get the resets on top of it, right? Like, give me a break. They get these horrible resets, like the last one in the 1700s, right? Late
Mm-hmm.
1700s, beginning of the 1800s, the mud flood, right? Where millions upon millions, if not billions, were wiped out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the what were they? The children on the trains. They were orphans, the little orphan children just showing up on trains. Are they factory children that were made and they're suddenly all showing up on trains and nobody has any memory of where they came from, coincidentally?
Mm-hmm.
No memory. They've got like the babies that were incubator babies. They had the fairs, right?
Yeah.
At the late 1800s, they had these incubator baby fairs where you could go see the incubator babies where nobody knew where the parents were or if they had
Mm-hmm.
any. And they were all incubator babies. And then you could just pick one up and take it home.
Yeah.
Right. So if you kind of look at it all,
It's just repeating itself. Yeah.
you
It's just,
know, yeah.
I know. I know.
So, and it's devolving. So, like,
Mhm.
the actuality of it is they're destroying higher level civilizations. And each time they do a reset, they literally augment everybody's DNA. They kill off everybody who's really super intelligent, who's activated, and they try and leave like a worker slave remnant, like they try and so you're looking at devolution, not evolution.
Yes, I agree.
There's a total devolution happening, and that's what they're doing with all these poisons that they're putting in everybody. They're
Mhm.
devolving. Like when you eat GMO food, it's changing your DNA.
Yes,
So guess what happens when your DNA changes?
memory.
Your
Yeah.
memory, your consciousness changes, who you are
Mhm.
changes.
Exactly. Yes,
So,
it's
you know, and that's just a tiny example. I don't want to freak people out because, like I keep saying, we have infinity and all potential, but people have to realize it.
yeah, yeah, it is what it is. Like we have
Mhm.
to see
Yeah, yeah,
what's going on to get,
right.
through it. Yeah. There's no
Yeah,
point in putting a mask and forgetting about it, like, I mean,
yeah.
that's what we've been doing for like,
I mean, like intention,
yeah,
intention is like the strongest power out there.
yes,
Intention, which is what prayer is.
yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah,
you know, harness your intention because when you're a child, right? The education system has been designed to program you. It's not an education system. There's no educating. It's
hmm.
actually the reverse. It's actually designed to make sure they don't educate you and that you're very dumbed down. And they'll
Yes.
tell you when you're young in the education system that your your imagination is fantasy.
Mm.
So they're already programming you to not believe your imagination, to not believe in everything you know to be real and true, and every unlimited capacity you have. So by the time you're in grade 5 and 6, you're pretty much depleted and you don't believe shit,
Yes.
right? And then you're a drone. So by the time you're ready to go out in the world, they have successfully made you into a drone.
Yeah.
And that's the system.
So do you think that's how they I don't know if you would call that like a type of possession where they're training people to forget their intention, I guess, or manipulate what they intended to come to do. I mean, I don't know how you would.
Well, that's not possession. Possession is when demonic entities, extremely dark entities, inhabit your body and take it over.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
possession.
Okay. And because they are very manipulative and they, I guess, try and sway you off your path. That's their main intention, I guess. Like
Well, that's the whole reality machine here. This is
yeah.
that's your interface system because it it's always going to give you a theater around you to do the opposite, to try and get you veered off, to try and get you just complacent. The tell you vision is one
Hmm.
of their best inventions,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It tells you what your vision is. They tell you what you're going to see
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how you're going to interface, right?
Hmm.
So that the television is an MK Ultra extraordinary technology, really.
I know. I know.
Right. And cable, oh
Mhm.
my God, cable. I mean, it's you want to get something like a Netflix and your own whatever, to go into the documentaries you want to see, to go into the shows you want to see. No commercials, no programming that way.
Mhm.
I mean, that's better, but you're still being programmed. But cable, oh my God, wow. I was stuck in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And so I've never had cable, right? And in the hotel room they had a TV, and I guess all hotel rooms have cable. So I turned it on. It was like late at night, and I thought, okay, well, it's nice to have it in the background. Maybe I can find a show, documentary or something that's like some false history, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and
Just
I
to get.
was dumbfounded at what I saw. I was blown away in disbelief because of the level of programming. I couldn't even I was blown away. I was blown away. And I was like, good God, people watch this shit all the time. And the news.
Oh. I know the things you see with open eyes is just completely different, I
Just
guess.
it was just It was so unreal. I mean, I knew it was bad, but like that was, yeah. I complained to the hotel. I was like,
Oh
oh
wow.
my God, what the hell are you doing putting that shit in the, like every room? Are
Yeah.
you out of your mind? Why don't you just put Netflix or Prime or something or a documentary channel that people
Yeah.
like? What are you doing? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. So, why people would spend that kind of money on that. I guess they like being programmed.
Yeah.
They like
Yeah.
being told what to see, what to smell, what to hear, how to think,
Yeah.
right?
Ignorance is, I guess. It's easier to just zone out and get told what things
Wow.
are, I guess.
I don't
Yeah.
know what that reality is like, but I have no idea about that reality. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Because I'm a bit of both. I can do a bit of both. Sometimes I need downtime and just
Well,
so,
I think we all need downtime, but like
but not to that extent. I know what
not
you're saying.
that. That's not downtime. That's like full on like MK Ultra programming.
Yeah, yeah. It's terrible. I know.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
there has to be some sort
yeah.
of
Shocker.
yeah. I don't know. I'm so sorry. My cough is
Oh, that's
really
okay.
Oh, I think I wanted to, oh yeah, dealing with spooks. I think we touched a bit about it. Yeah.
Do you mean
But
ghosts?
yeah, we can talk about ghosts. I just meant like yeah,
When you
yeah, we
say
can.
spooks, what do you mean? Like here in Canada, spooks it means ghosts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can run with that. Yeah, yeah,
But
because I
what does it
mean
mean in Australia?
for me, yeah, no, no, I mean I got the term. I guess it's a US term. I don't know for like just yeah, general stuff that involve paranormal
Oh,
activity, I guess,
hmm,
and yeah.
okay.
Stuff like
Yeah. What do
yeah.
you want to know about it?
Um, like how do you deal with things that are I guess yeah, I mean I think we kind of already yeah touched upon it.
How do you deal with seeing and witnessing the phenomenon?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, how do you integrate that in, you
Okay,
know?
well, first of all, I will tell you right now, if you have a situation where you have this happen to you,
Mhm, mhm.
um, you're going to be terrified at first. I mean, you're probably going to be terrified regardless, not just at first. You're going to be terrified because we're not like in what we're here to be and do is not meant to mess with these dimensions. We're not meant to mess with these the dead, those that are dead that are stuck here, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, but depending on what you're experiencing, if it's an angry spook, if it's an angry ghost,
Yeah.
that's a whole different thing than an entity. And sometimes, well, what I find often, somebody that's trapped here that hasn't moved on over time will get like worse with time. And some get really angry. And there's usually always an entity attached to them. And sometimes, depending on what went on there, if it was black magic that went on in the area or whatever rituals, you're talking about a lot of entities coming in to that through a portal, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're talking about the potential for people having portals in their homes and not even knowing it, not having a clue. So it can be very different how you experience this phenomenon depending on what's there. And that's why you need a medium to go in and tell you exactly what is there, because it can just be someone trapped who just wants to go home and they don't know how. And I've helped many like that, and they're fine and they're lovely and they're really happy to go, and it's okay. There's others that are just malevolent, and man, they will not go. And that they usually are pretty violent. So, they can hurt you. I've been, look, I've had so many things happen, but I've had experiences where they like thrown me down the stairs. Um, I've woken up with their entire like handprints on my body. Um, bruises, like huge bruises, because they just, they're hitting you at night or whatever. They can hurt you. So you need to know what you're dealing with, and you need to know how to remove it right. So you need to call the right people who are gifted and can tell you, well, this is what you have here. This is what they need. This is what you need to get this thing out. And sometimes it requires an exorcism. Sometimes it requires a shaman. Sometimes it requires a white witch. Like there's certain, it's all different. There's never, it's not like, oh, black and white, this, right?
True.
It can be just like a good old man. I was haunted by a nice old man who died where I lived, and he died in his bed, and he just loved me. He was like super protector of me when I was living there. And if anybody did anything to me, he would hurt them. Like, and he was a really nice man. So,
Mhm.
I remember at that time my husband was arguing with me back, like my ex-husband, and he was arguing with me. Well, he did not like that. And so
Oh,
he caused him to have an accident and like almost lost his finger,
oh my God.
right? Because he was like upset that he was arguing with me. He was super
Yeah.
protective of me. So it wasn't that he was, see, this is what I'm saying to you. You have to know exactly what you're dealing with. If somebody else was there, they would think, oh my God, there's a demon here because of what he did to my ex-husband. And he wasn't.
Mm,
He was lovely. And he just
yeah.
was super, like, he just super loved me and would do anything to protect me. So he just needed to go home, right? That was it.
Yes.
He was like, he had a sad life. He was very lonely man, really, really wanted a family, never had it. He needed to go home. But
Hmm.
if you do not have the right information, because of what my ex-husband experienced in that attack, you would assume the worst.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's why hire a good medium who will go in and tell you exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you'll know, or she'll know, hey, you need to hire a paranormal team that comes in, gathers evidence, and then does a clearing, a professional clearing on the house and removal. Or you hire there's exorcists that come in and can do it as well. There's, you know, priests, pastors. There are people who that's their job given to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I think that's good advice because sometimes you just need like another person to witness what's going on as well. Yeah. And
Well, yeah, and the investigative teams are really good at acquiring that kind of stuff, right? Like I
mhm.
have somebody that comes in and he's lovely. I love him. His name's Eric, and he visits me and he checks in on me, and he like always lets me know it because he'll just walk down the stairs and you'll hear it, and or he'll move things around in my bedroom. He just wants to let me know. And he's the only one I allow here, by the way.
Okay.
Um and so I know who that is. I know when he comes, he's checking in, he's loving, I love him,
Mhm.
beautiful. And then he leaves. So, this is the only exception I have, because everything
Yeah.
is like it's sealed super, to the point where there's certain times that I've heard, this is probably gonna freak people out. Um, I've heard creatures or something crawling on the outside of my wall
Oh
of the
wow.
house and on the
Yeah.
roof. And you can hear it's huge. It's a huge creature and it's scurrying and it makes noises, but they
Oh.
can't get in. It's like there's a complete impenetrable dome.
Mhm,
Boom.
mhm.
And but sometimes you will hear. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. You need to know What are your healthy boundaries and what are you going to do to create your, like, you know, your protected property?
Yes.
Like I might let Eric in because he's fine and I love him.
Yeah.
And that's good. And that's the only one. And I'm clear about that. Like everything closed.
Hmm. 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 Yep.
And
Yep.
the
Yep.
same with me. Like I'm not a 24-hour a day open store for these like beings either, because sometimes like they'll just not stop. It's like I close it down. I'm like, there's a sign on my store and it says closed. I am not open, and that's it. And they all respect it, and I seal everything up and I don't get bothered.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're bad.
Well, you
Yeah.
don't want to be harassed.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah, you need proper boundaries for that. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the sounds though. I feel like I can hear because I mentioned I'm a bit more audio than visual, I think,
Mhm.
but I
Yeah.
can hear portals. Like it's weird. I can hear them
Oh.
speak sometimes.
What do you
Yeah.
what do you hear?
Like portals, I guess not opening, but like interacting with our field or my
How does
field.
it sound to you?
Sounds very like sometimes when it's mechanic, it sounds very mechanic, like it's a
Yep.
mechanical, and then I can hear, yeah, mainly that. I think that's
Mhm.
when it's artificial. So
Yeah. I mean, you can have portals happening all over the place, by the way, right?
yes,
Mirrors are a great portal. I don't recommend anybody having mirrors in their bedroom.
no,
I
yeah,
mean, seriously, like, especially like,
um,
don't ever put a mirror on this side and a mirror on this side
oh,
facing each other, right? Like,
I know.
um, but yeah, mirror portals can just pop off like in any place, and for people who collect antiques, be careful, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
exactly.
holy almighty, this
Yeah,
is yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Mm-hmm.
can, but yeah,
You kidding? Like the stuff that comes along with that. Ooh, God.
you have
Mm-hmm.
to, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you just got to be careful.
Yeah, yeah,
And I get it. I get like not a lot of people have the ability to sense this stuff, so they don't know, and they're like, "Oh, I really love this," and they bring it home, right? Um, and but yeah, really just clear it, cleanse it, remove everything. Like
yeah, that's,
then do what you need to make sure it's okay, right?
yeah,
If you can't sense stuff, like yeah.
yes, yes, yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
that's good advice. Yeah, and I think because we're going through so much, like it's been a while since we talked actually,
Oh,
but
I think years.
years, yeah, but I
Yeah.
feel like we're going through so much trauma, like, do you know what I mean? And I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you how we could like integrate this traumatic experience that we're all going through actually. Like how can we best utilize it in a way that we can overcome, like you said, all the training and all the programming that's going through our minds because of the
Okay, you got to know these are all stories.
yeah.
And you got to know at the end of the day, none of them are real.
Hmm.
What you choose to believe is what becomes real, right? And
Yes,
that,
yes,
well, and then there's, people that say, well, I beg to differ because like if you're in a place where there's a war and you choose to believe differently, there's still a war. But here's what I say. Everybody has the ability to create their own time and space. And when you create your time and space through intention, meditation, like you basically disembark from the entire theater and narrative. You
mm,
disengage from it all and you allow your own universal physics to create its own time and space around you. So you could have whatever happening out there and you're not experiencing anything. Like you're actually pretty darn good. So you want to engage with the story, then you're going to be a player in the story.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Or do you want to just go, that is a story. I'm sick and tired of stories here. I'm out. And then I'm creating my own. I'm like, and teach yourself how to meditate. Teach yourself how to breathe when you meditate. Teach yourself the art of utilizing your 5 senses and 10 and 15 and 20 senses when you meditate to bring in what you are, your infinite ability, your infinite potential, because you can do anything. And when Isa said, greater than these things will ye do, like he's talking about, like, if I can move a mountain, greater than these things can ye do. That's not a joke. That's not an allegory. That's a real. That this is for real. So you can choose not to believe your ability. You can choose not to believe the infinity that is within you, the potential of infinite potential that you are, because you are the sum of all creation. You are the sum of everything in every universe. You can choose to not believe that and stay plugged into the story, and then you're going to be a casualty of the story, and then you're going to go to the karmic lords and the factory, the processing plant for your recycling.
Yep.
Or you can start doing something about it and utilizing your prime meta abilities and potential and infinite ability. Like, you can make the choice to believe something different. And then, when I say stop believing these stories, I'm not kidding. I mean, you come from something shitty in the past, like, almost everybody here. Um, it's irrelevant. Make a
Yeah.
choice. Like, God, why am I allowing that to haunt me? Why do you think ghosts are here? Because they can't get over the stories. So what happens when they die? They're stuck here, living the
Yeah.
same story. But you don't have to live the same story. You don't have to live any of these stories.
No.
Literally, you don't.
No.
But you
No.
can't be lazy. You can't be like, oh, I can't, do this without doing anything. No, it takes work. You need to learn how to, you know, I mean, I love elemental qigong. Learn how to like utilize your like peace, your zen. Learn how
Yeah.
to do meditation and breathing. Learn how to utilize your senses so that when you meditate, you bring your vision, your hearing, your smell, your taste. You bring it in. Like, these are ancient techniques that work,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? If you're gonna live in ignorance, guess what happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And you don't have to be a saint. Like, this idea that if you like utilize your ability and you train yourself and you maybe learn how to do these techniques and it doesn't mean oh my God, I can't drink. Oh my God, I can't smoke. No, it doesn't mean any of that. You're in the human experience. So it's not about you being perfect. Nobody's perfect, even though you're perfect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's not about putting that story on yourself,
Yeah.
you
Yep. Yep.
know? It's just be you, whatever that looks like, but just incorporate these things that make you the best you, that you're just starting to learn, because you're basically in kindergarten.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody here are children. Like, they may look like they're 80 years old, but they're still children. Like,
Mm.
you have no memory of who you are. It's been wiped out time after time. You've been recycled time after time. Like, good God, like, yeah, you've been basically forced to be infantile. Like, that's what I mean, but there's no real evolution. So now, just like anything is learnable, learn how to utilize tools that will help you evolve.
Yes.
And that means, when you first start growing up, what's the first lesson you learn? What's the first lesson you learn? Be responsible for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be responsible for every choice you make. Nobody is responsible for you because you're putting your karma on them when you do that.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know what I mean? Like, this is once you
Mm-hmm.
get that and you're like all good with that, then just start utilizing your abilities, all your senses. Hone it in through intention. Create your own time and space. Create your own heaven here.
Yeah. No, I love that about you because it's very inspirational, and I feel like we still need to strive for like all those things that you mentioned within ourselves and within, you know, our field. I feel like it is very important to remember,
Yeah.
yeah, like those things that
And it doesn't matter if you're a late bloomer. Like, it's not about time. Like, whatever, who cares? Like, whenever you get the memo, awesome, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of time to understand as well from experience, I think.
Yeah.
Like you understand from an unconscious perspective, like you were saying before, and
Yeah.
then things happen in life, and then that's how I've experienced things. Like you
Hmm.
slowly progress through, or
Yeah.
some people just get like a big shock in their life and then change, but um
I mean, it's like it's true. Everybody is their own universe, and
yeah,
they're having their own experience and their own theater here, and the machine works with that here. So it's creating, you're interfacing with this that's creating whatever's in your psyche.
yes.
So if you're unconscious or subconscious, it's going to create whatever is locked in there. That's what
Hmm.
it's going to do. But if you're
Hmm.
conscious and you start like, no, I'm 100% conscious and I am determined, you know,
Yes.
then it starts losing its grip to create that theater around you.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's exactly how our belief system works. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting you mentioned elemental qigong. I did something similar to that for a while that
Yeah.
incorporated energy with the elements, and I
Yeah.
found that really helpful as well. It was
I
very
love it.
encouraging. Yeah, I think it was qigong, or but it was very Asian based, and it also incorporated oh, the coin system I forgot that they use in divination. There's a
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Oh,
Do you
wow.
know? I forgot the name. Anyways, it was incorporating that. It was very very interesting.
Yeah, what do they call it? The four-way.
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
symbol, eight or something. Oh, bagua. Is it bagua? No.
Yeah, like the it's the three coin or the four coin. It's I Ching, the I Ching.
Ah, yeah, that's it. I Ching. Yes, yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm. Yep. Hmm. I mean, really, the ability and the phenomenon and the miracles are like they're unlimited. The only limitation
Yeah,
is you.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I love.
okay, yeah, we've been hacked. Our genome has been hacked. We've been devolved. We've had all this stuff and continue to have all this stuff. So just like Dr. Emoto taught people that you can communicate with water, you can put love in it, and then the water is going to restructure itself to this beautiful. So and it is infused with love. You drink that, you become that. That goes in your DNA. We can do this with everything.
Yes, yes.
We have to learn to believe again. We have to
Yeah.
go back to when we were kids, when we believed in all of this, when we
Mm,
had our imagination, when
absolutely.
we knew that we were all these things. We have to make a return to that. Truly believe it.
Yeah, back to basics. I think
Hmm.
so. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is energy at the end of the day, isn't it? It just comes down to
Everything.
energy. Yeah.
Everything. Not a, nothing is outside of energy. Like literally, there's nothing in existence that isn't energy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes, thank you, Laura. I feel like because we agreed it would be about an hour, I feel
yeah.
like we should leave,
Yeah,
leave
I've
it.
got to go.
Yeah, yeah, I'm so sorry because we did have a bit of a chat beforehand, so
That's
I think
okay.
I went
That's all right.
over over time. But thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure talking with you and catching up with you. And I feel like, yeah, not much time has passed, but yeah, you're really great at what you do and you're very advanced compared to my understanding. So I really enjoy listening to you because the way you talk is, it's amazing. So I hope other people have found inspiration as well with this talk. But we'll
We're
keep.
we're all students of remembering. All of us, right? All of us are students of
I know.
remembering and reawakening.
Yes, that's what we're doing. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
It's unlimited. Yeah. But
Yeah.
thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.
Yes, likewise. You take care of yourself and we keep in touch.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.